I wanted to ask you, because you are in a different field than me. How is this gonna? How do you see the real estate market, affected in the future?
Yeah, so I see in terms of real estate, great question, mate. There's huge changes in real estate. And for me, it super excites me because the asset class that I'm focused on of community style living and for co-living, I believe is only going to really explode, especially when we're through this and in terms of people craving human connection. Look at you on the San Pellegrino as well. Fancy that, mate.
Yes, man.
Wise men think alike.
San Pellegrino, man, the best
Love it, man.
water.
That's what lockdown's about, getting on the water.
Great minds think alike.
Exactly. But I feel for real estate, the big transition is within the asset class. You know, people are saying, well, property's going to decline. And yes, it is. The overall market is going to take a hit because the stocks have. And I understand the underlying dynamics of how people get scared. And so the weaker holders of the asset are the ones that sell up and hold cash and then try and figure out where to go with that. So there's huge amounts of changes in terms of the hands of wealth right now. And it's a great chance to pick up assets if you know what you're doing. But for me, I mean, I started my business with one mission, and it was to accelerate our transition to an upgraded life. And what's funny is I feel like this whole scenario is just accelerating my mission. It's accelerating our transition to an upgraded life because we are being forced to innovate. We're being forced to change the way in which we live. And for me as a real estate investor, I'm super excited because most developers are still asleep to this. Yeah, man, most developers are totally asleep to this. I knew this was coming in terms of a crash. I didn't know that the virus would be the form, but I knew this was coming, you know. And thanks for your comments, by the way. I appreciate you all. And, you know, when you see something coming and people aren't ready to listen to you for years and years and years in the run-up, but then suddenly it happens and then suddenly people are like, oh, wow, okay, maybe I should actually tune into the right information. You've got to do your research in advance of the crash, and that's why I'm ready and why I was aware that this was going to happen and that my business model was bulletproof to ultimately what we're going through. And so sustainable prosperity is the key thing right now. I'm all about wealth creation and growing like-minded community of people who truly get this and share the values, because the majority of the world is totally sleepwalking their way off a cliff. And it's only just beginning. If people are dismissive of really the power of what's going on, and a lot of real estate developers I'm talking to, they still are, and they're scared, they're worried, they're scared about their loan repayments, they're scared about selling up their houses because the property market is going to take a dip. And the truth is, a lot of developers are going to go bust. There's already a lot less noise out there because you're noticing a lot of people have gone quiet at this point because they're scared. A lot of the people who previously may have been very vocal online or sharing a lot online, I mean, I'm scared, but I embrace these moments because I'm detached from the risk. I just love the opportunity because I was born to be an entrepreneur. And so that's why for me it's the time where entrepreneurs are going to thrive. The big lethargic bulky organizations are going to go bust. There's huge amounts of wealth changing hands right now for those who are in the know. It shocks me at how many people just don't understand what's going on right now at a broader level. So that's what I'm really driven to help more people with as well. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the coming weeks, you know, so it's exciting.
Yeah, man. I was actually thinking at this point. So basically everything is going to be starting basically from scratch. So for a small business like myself and my companies, my company, because there are three companies, but there's one basically a big one. When this is gonna end, it's gonna be a great opportunity for me and for all these other small businesses that are gonna still be in business when this is gonna pass. Because that's an important point that you still need to be in business at the end of this. You need to find a way to get through it.
You're right.
But if you are still in business and you are still driven to go forward, I think it's a great opportunity for us to get market shares, get more clients, get the message out there.
That's
it. I wanted to ask you, there was another thing. You said that you prepare. How did you how did you see this, and how you gonna go for taking more of the market? And
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, and awesome to hear the perspective that you have, Cezar. And you're someone who I know is going to get through this because you've got the mindset, and you're someone who's committed to learning, to growing, and to getting around the right people, mate. You know, I've seen it. You were at ClimbCon obviously last year, doing awesome with Mark and team. And
we've been booked this year as well, so it's all good.
Exactly.
I'm very excited about that.
Totally, man. Look, this is the thing is, the reason why I'm ready for this, I'll be honest with you, is because I am an immense learner, and to not know for me is criminal. I made the decision years ago that I was going to go deep on learning everything I could about economics, finance, investing, because I knew nothing about money when I left school. And so I've had 12 years of being obsessed about business and how the markets move. And you know, it's the books on the shelves. I mean, I'm here on my desk. I've got this file here. It says my reading. You know, this is a load of reading that I've still got left to read today. It's what is it? It's 20 to 11 in the UK. I've got spreadsheets to look at. I've got things to read. So this is what I'm doing. And, you know, Warren Buffett reads for 8 hours a day. I get my advice from the super wealthy. I don't focus on everyone out there on Instagram who's telling you to do this and that. I get my information from the right people. And that's something Grant Cardone taught me ultimately that he did. And so being, I suppose, learning from someone like him and being almost following in his footsteps as to how he's grown his business, I'm like, right, he's listened to the super successful people, I'm doing the same. And so I'll be honest, a lot of it's been reading, investing immense amounts in my own personal development, because you never lose anything that you invest in you. And yet when people are riding a wave and when people are generating cash, the biggest temptation they all have is to go and splurge it on the holidays, spend it on the cars. I haven't done any of that. I've been super hyper disciplined because I wanted to lock myself in and read, ready for this moment, and ready to actually grow my business to help people.
I absolutely love that.
And dude, this is the truth. Like, no one will ever outwork me, and no one will ever. I don't know anyone out there who is permitted. Maybe one person in my whole network who's Jay Duran. If you follow Jay Duran on Facebook, awesome dude, because he's incredible over in the US. He's the one guy I know who probably reads more books than me. He's incredible, the culture guy, Jay Duran. Give him a shout out on here. And I'll tag him after for the privilege. But basically, I just won't be out. No one will out hustle me when it comes to learning, man. Most people are watching Netflix. Most people are playing around. Most people are in the pubs. You know, I'm here studying, growing. I'm committed to my learning, and I'm freaking immersed, and no one's going to catch me up. And so that's why I get ready for these situations, I'll be honest with you. And also because I want to share the information with the people who need it. So that's how I can hopefully shortcut the path for other people who don't have the time or the energy or the core values ultimately to read. Excuse me. For me, I love it. It immerses me. It makes me grow and expand my potential. So it's all driven to human advancement. That's me. If it's driven to accelerating our transition to an upgraded life, I'm going deep. And so I'll be honest, man, it's been getting around the right people, working the 100-hour weeks in investment banking, private equity, because I was obsessed. And I am just obsessed. Like, I'm a freaking beast. When it comes to learning, I don't know anybody out there who's up there for competing. So that's the thing, man. That's where I'm at. And there's a lot of things I don't do well, but that's one of the things I do well.
I was a bit like, my mental health is really, I mean, like, I meditate a lot. I do the Wim Hof method.
You do amazing.
I do the cold conditioning every day, cold showers every day. So, like, it's very little things that are really, I mean, like, not much has affected me in the last 2 years. But I mean, like, I found inspiration in your mission, in the way you put it across. So I appreciate it for that. I really do. And you made the point that is so important. So, you know, I've done a podcast with Mark Wright, and it was an amazing experience for me, because I could see firsthand from someone that is been out and doing it, this mentality. And one of the things he said is basically the same thing. Like, you need to surround yourself with this, with the beasts, the people that are like grand, like even yourself now, and then you know you've been out there, and there are many people that look up to you, and you know the Buffetts and all these people are like, instead of watching Netflix and watching movies
Doesn't
and
excite me, man, and it's fine. If it excites people, fine. But for me, I'd rather expand my potential with the one life I've got.
so let me just quick answer to one of the questions here. How should I spend my 4 Audible book credits? Any good books you recommend? I will get 2, and you can give him 2. Mark, sorry, Matt. I'm terrible with names. Sorry about that. So from me, the first 2 books will be The Power of Now by Cartol and Levels of Energy by Dodson. So if you want to start with the meditation trend, that would be the first thing that I would recommend. Maybe you can give 2, like, you know, for the expansion or success.
Love that. And you're someone who practices what you preach, Cezar. What I love about you is your mental toughness, which is so congruent to
Thank
your
you.
industry, though, as well, man. You've got like some of the top mental toughness of anybody I know, because you're living proof. I've seen some of the recent content you've been sharing in the videos, and top class commitment, mate. Big respect
Thank
for
you.
that, because people don't understand how hard it is to just immerse yourself in cold submission. It's one of the bravest things you can do. So big hats off to you.
Thank you.
One of the books I always say is you've got to read Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, because
Yeah.
that summarizes me and my strategy in business and life, is committing to excellence through the compounded decisions and choices of every day. And most people just aren't awake and conscious of the decisions every single day that compounds, whether it's eating that cake or whether it's not doing the work or whether it's not getting to the gym. Compound effect is a huge one for me, and I say it to everybody. I mean, there's so many books. I'd say the other book you've got to read right now is Fake by Robert Kiyosaki, because it'll give you a great overview of the current situation of finance and where the world's going. And it's a very good overview that will start hopefully stimulating you to learn more. And that's what I'm driven to do, is if I can hopefully be the guide that gets someone's ideas going and gets them to realize something is not quite right here, because it's not, then hopefully I can save some people and their families and their financial livelihoods for the future, because we're in for huge change and it's exciting, man. That's why people like you and I have got to be connected to the right information. So yeah.
We're doing. I mean, I wanted to do this live with you because, I mean, like, people need to be around the right energy, and in this live, I felt a bit down after the lockdown message because I just read the news. I don't actually read the news that much, but because obviously we need to be on touch with what's going on. Yeah, so it felt to be like. Because I used to be a prison officer, so in segregation we used to have prisoners. We told them you have half an hour to go the exercise, and then you get your food through the door, and it's terrible. I felt a bit sorry for them, and this is how it's gonna be for at least a couple of weeks now. And it doesn't matter if you are you know, a low sugar or some guy working in a store. You're gonna be in the same situation, so you just have to adapt. And it's a great time to work on yourself. Read the books that we just recommend. Put the work in. I have some processes and policies that I have to update for the business. So for me is, and then plan ahead. You know, write the goals down. I have here. Let me show you. I've got a lot of stuff as well, man. Here,
Love it.
I'm prepared. Let me show you. So it's like the 10x planner, man.
10x Planet, you've got it.
Yeah, you've got it. Yeah. Writing down how much time I waste. That is one of the things I'm working on at the moment. Do you have like one of something that you are having problems with at the moment in terms of discipline?
Yeah, I mean, we all have discipline challenge, right? My big discipline challenge is around sleep, I'll be honest with you. And one of the reasons for that is it's my entrepreneur challenge always, is I get so excited by what I do and by what I read and by the thing, and that I just can't switch my mind off at night. So I'm often that's my big vice. My big vice is I've got to actually upgrade my sleep routine. I think that in terms of planning the day, we've got to take control of it, as you say, mate. It's like it's about having that planner, having the schedule and jamming it full. Routine is so key right now for people, because if you're listening into this, then you're stuck in the house, but you've got to use it as your gift and have a routine, because if we get out of routine, we lower our self-confidence and the mental health starts to actually deplenish. And so a big thing right now is stimulating our minds, learning the right materials, getting outside. You can still work out, go for a run in the morning, get fresh air whilst you still can in the UK, and also just double down on your own self-improvement. Just keep that self-worth up. Have conversations like this with quality people like I am with my man Cezar, and it connects you to the right energy. And the other thing I just wanted to add as well, because you mentioned something about perspective and how you were feeling a bit down, obviously, after hearing the news here in the UK and how we're being under lockdown now.
Yeah.
Everything is only as powerful as the belief system we attach to it.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a breakthrough for us all to realize, is that everything is only as powerful as the belief that we attach to it. It's not as powerful as the situation.
Yeah, it's not actually the lockdown, it's the thought that
exactly.
you have.
It's the thought. And so the big impact, all we've got to decide in this very moment is that this situation, this whole circumstance is happening for us and not to us. And that's why I'm excited now, because I've chosen an empowering methodology towards it. I'm like, yeah, this is totally aligned with my mission to accelerate our transition to an upgraded life. This whole thing's happening for that reason. Therefore, I'm inspired, I'm committed, I'm in spirit, I'm with higher faith right now that the right things are happening for me, not to me. And if we choose that mentality, we can upgrade our states, raise our physiology, and take the right actions, because we are thinking about growth and improvement. And also, though, not dismissing the situation. That's why I learn. That's why I commit to reading, because I don't want to get caught flat out. And not knowing is what's cost me the most throughout my life. The things that I know now versus what I did a decade ago. I mean, it's shocking how I managed my personal finances in my teenage years versus now. There's so many things that we're taught in school that, quite frankly, are not true. One of the big ones being nutrition, for example, which I was never taught anything about in school. The government guidelines are all a load of nonsense. And right now, everyone's being hit by that because their autoimmune system is screwed, because the whole nutrition guidance is messed up. So people are eating a load of sugar and not getting their autoimmune system ready for this virus that's going to spread. And, there's a lot of things I can say about all of this, but hey, that's where it starts, in the mind.
I mean, I agree with you. I think let's get maybe we've got a couple of questions here. Maybe we take a question or two and then we wrap it up, because I've been awake since about 6 o'clock in the morning. So let me see if I can find one of these questions here. Okay. Follow advice from the very wealthy. Are there any specific sources you gave from news, outlet, books, YouTube channels? I mean, look, the information is all there. You go in my Instagram account or on the YouTube, Matt account. You can search on YouTube. The thing is, and that's what I agree with Grant, because GC said this. Like, you can't have 100 mentors. Maybe you have one mentor for one discipline and then one mentor. So I have, for example, in the meditation, I have Eckhart Tolle. I like a lot about his philosophy about being present. Amazing. I like Wim Hof about the body and core conditioning. I like GC about finances. So like I have these. I have, let's say, maybe one, maybe two mentors for each discipline, but you must be careful they do not conflict in the information. So you have like the Wolf of what's his name? The Wolf. Yeah.
Jordan.
Sorry.
Jordan Belfort.
Yeah, Belfort, and then you have GC. They don't work together. So like it has to be like maybe you choose one and then you stick with that.
Yeah, I think as well, a big one for me is just realize the power of books, people. I mean, I didn't start by investing thousands of pounds into courses. I started by buying books which then led to me stimulating my interest and actually increasing my income to then buy more seminar tickets and invest in my education even more. So, you know, if you're starting out and you don't have any money, I'm sorry, but there's no excuse not for picking up a book for £7 in the UK.
Yeah,
I mean,
on Audible, it's even cheaper than that. You can buy like a
exactly.
credit with £6. You can have any book you want, and they read it to you.
That's
So
so
like
true.
I've in maybe 1 year or maybe 2 years, maybe over 100 books now in my Audible library.
Amazing.
For some people, that's not a lot. I know others that read like 50 books like in 3-4 months.
Dude, you're putting yourself in the 1% though, just by that one habit. You realize that, and that's the power. Because the average person reads less than 2 books a year. That's the average person. That's the majority of people. There's a lot of people who don't even finish 1 book a year. And so the big separator for me is that, like, where else on the planet can you invest $10 or less than $10 if you're in the US and potentially pick up $1 billion worth of wisdom? It's the most ridiculous, ludicrous return on investment possible. And that's why I read for as much as I can.
Yeah.
Whether it's online, whether it's books, whether it's, you know, research papers or documents, PDFs, read the lot.
And the other thing, Matt, is this generation now, we have access to so much. So like I have the Mac and I have the iPhone, everything it's easy. Like you press a button, you pay £6 and you have a book. Someone is reading to you. It's like, and the information is so easy to get to. You know, I was thinking about this, like people fighting over toilet paper. Like you had kings and emperors and conquerors that didn't have toilet paper, that were so rich, they run like kingdoms.
Yeah.
And they didn't have like flying. Now you fly, like you can go, not now, but obviously like when there is no lockdown, you can fly from London to Bucharest in 3 hours. Like back in the day, like 200-300 years ago, this will took days and days, right? You had to go on the boat and you have to cross, and it's like if you didn't die from some disease or got robbed during the travel, it will take you ages to get there, and you'll be like in shit conditions, right? So you have everything is at your fingertips. All you have to do is learn how to increase the income.
Yep.
And then get the information and apply. That's it.
Absolutely,
that's
yes. As Roland says, books are key to knowledge, followed by execution. Totally. But one of the powerful things I have found as well is that the more books I read, the more I execute in a strategic manner. And so now my brain, from all the knowledge and wisdom and the mentors that I've listened to, I can pick on different knowledge strategically to best apply it as if I was that person, you know, and that's how you can upgrade your think, so that you start to think like the greats and own the traits of the greats. Because let's be honest, we all carry exactly the same traits and potential as Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all these people. But what separates us versus the action that they take is often our commitment to actually execute and the information. It's the two things. So, you know, we can find the information everywhere right now. And as Roland rightly says, we have to have the purpose, the why, the fire in the belly, ultimately, to take action. Because if you don't have that purpose, man, I'm sorry, but you're not living a really vibrant and charged life, which isn't what I want to be doing.
Exactly, man. I agree with you 100%. Look, are we going to wrap it up? Is there anything you want to add?
Look, man, I just think, you know, that I'm here personally, mate, if I can be of value to you at this time, because I know that it's challenging for me, it's challenging for everyone. But you know what? We can all choose the story that we apply for this moment. Things are tight for me and challenging in certain areas of my business for sure. But you know what? Forced innovation brings out the best in us, mate. Because if we rest on our laurels, if we take it too easy, often we're not improving our own selves enough. And when we double down on ourselves and our own growth and improvement, ultimately we realize that a whole new level of our potential exists than what we previously thought about. So, hey, mate, this situation's happening for us. It's going to make us better, make us stronger, turn you into a titan of your industry, and you'll look back in years to come and be so grateful for this moment.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. We're not victims. We have something to do with it. That's how I see it. There's something in us that maybe created the situation, so I fully accept it. I will ride along the wave, and you know, I'm sure we're gonna come up on the other side better. So I want to thank everyone that joined us. You know, if you have anything else with us, then just drop us a DM or whatever, and we're gonna be in touch. Matt, I thank you for your time, man. It was really good to talk to you. I will join that group that you sent it to me,
Awesome.
and hopefully I will do this again because I really enjoy it, man.
Man, loved it. And if anyone else wants access also to that community, feel free to send me a direct message after this or send it to Cezar, and we'll make sure that you join what we're building. But, you know, man, you're awesome and really good fun doing this live with you. You asked some really fun questions too that tap into me, and that's probably why you see me quite energized. So good, man.
You, cheers, guys. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. Take care.
Thanks all. Cheers. Bye-bye.